Hello, everybody, and welcome to Taking Control, the ADHD podcast on rashpixel.fm. I'm Pete Wright, and right over there is Nikki Kinzer.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Pete Wright.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I took a
How do
little
you feel?
vacation.
Do you feel refreshed?
Kind of.
Well, I mean, let's just take it, not today. I know you think today is harried, but in general, do you feel refreshed? Do you feel better?
Yes, I did. I feel better because I got to spend some good quality time with my family. So that was really, really nice. But before we pushed record, I did something that I tell my clients not to do, and I did it. And now I'm a little regretful of it. And that's not giving yourself that day of transition, from going from vacation to work. I went from coming home last night at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, right into work
that's
this morning. So a little overwhelmed, but
good.
I thank God for you because I sent a text message to you last night at about 8:30 saying, we have a podcast tomorrow. I have nothing planned. Do you have anything planned? Please, do you have something planned? Because I forgot about it. And thankfully my co-host and partner had something planned for us to talk about today. So right on. What are we going to talk about? I don't even know.
So there is some new research that I'm excited to talk about, and it's all about that we as humans are wired for distraction. And I read this article in Wired, and I was fascinated by it, and I think it is worth talking about, and some of the tools that will help us rewire our brains. Before we do that, head over to takecontroladhd.com. Get to know us a little bit better. You can listen to the show right there on the website or subscribe to the mailing list and get an email every time a new episode is released. You can connect with us on Twitter or Facebook at TakeControlADHD. And if you really love us, if you really feel like sharing, which we hope you do, you'll head over to patreon.com/the ADHD podcast and share $1 or $5 or $50. I don't, really the choice is yours. We encourage you to make smart financial decisions, but hopefully they include investing in the ADHD podcast and helping us continue to grow, and maybe pay for new glasses for me because mine keep breaking. So patreon.com, patreon.com/the ADHD podcast. You'll get access to all kinds of chat rooms through Discord, which is fantastic. Our members only places you can join us for the live stream. You can get access to workshops, monthly workshops coming very, very soon. And that will help you grow and learn about your own ADHD. So there you go. Patreon.com/the ADHD podcast. We deeply appreciate your support.
If you're listening to this on schedule, then you have about 1 or 2 days left for group coaching enrollment before it closes. So now's the time. If you are listening to this after September 5th, that's okay, because you can still go to the website, go to the group coaching page, and put yourself on the waiting list for the winter groups. So not all is lost if you hear this after the fact. But yes, definitely. If you're interested in group coaching for the fall, we have 2 groups, one on Monday at noon Pacific, one on Thursdays at 4 Pacific. Come join me. There's lots of information about the group coaching on the website. And if you have any questions, you can certainly, email me directly. And there you go.
You're very kind with your email.
I am.
Do you get a lot of junk? No? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the internet works.
It does. Yeah, it really does.
Fantastic.
It's all good. Yeah.
All good. All right.
Now
Let's talk about distraction.
Yes.
I think this is really interesting stuff. I read this article as I mentioned in Wired, and I'll post a link in the show notes. Here's scientific proof your brain was designed to be distracted. What do you think that means? Just when you hear it at a gut level, what does that mean?
That your brain was designed to be distracted?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. What does my gut say? I mean, I think it's true. I mean, I think that it's more so now, though, with technology. It feels like it's really prevalent with technology because everybody's distracted, with phones and emails and all of that. Social media has definitely made us the distractions are higher. Yeah, so it makes sense to me. I mean, I think it makes sense. I mean, we are curious people. We want to know what's going on around us, and that can, take us from one place to another pretty quickly.
Well, it does. It's funny. Researchers have found that attention, it's kind of like multitasking. We used to, I think, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, maybe in some circles yesterday, have a certain reverence for people who say they can multitask. But research shows that multitasking isn't really a thing. Multitasking really is just another way of saying you're distracted and you're moving from things to thing, and you're not really applying the same level of quality or attention that you could to any one thing if you just did it efficiently, get it done, and move on. And attention is like that, but it's at a very, very finite level, right? Researchers have found that as you're reading a sentence, for example, every second, your attention wavers an average of 4 times. Right? Your brain is constantly moving to other things. Now, why is that? Because that's the thing that I thought was most interesting about this whole concept, that it turns out perception is not a constant, and there is a reason for it. Evolutionarily, distraction was a tool for us. Right? Researchers at the Princeton Neuroscience Institute have say that you would have to have constantly been on the lookout. You would always want to be aware if there was something around you with bigger teeth.
So that's that, like, what is it? Flight or fight instinct?
Fight or flight, right? That amygdala response. This is you imagine animals at a watering hole, right? You're in the desert, and the rains come back. You're at the watering hole, and you're I don't know, maybe you're a gazelle. Okay, let's just say you're a gazelle.
Okay.
Now at the watering hole, there are rules for animals, right? They have this sort of pecking order, and generally, animals aren't eating each other at the watering hole. But what if you have to be concerned about that behavior? You're a gazelle and you're drinking. Are you focused exclusively on drinking the water?
No.
Why? Because of that lion, that big, dirty, dumb lion that's right above you, and it's about to eat you.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens for us. As we were, evolutionarily, when we came out of the caves, when we had our first civilization, developed our first civilization, our first communities, they were things of danger. Dangerous storms, dangerous environmental impacts, dangerous, animals that were hunting us. And so we constantly have to be aware. And that is how distraction became a tool. It kept us thinking
safe
about the environment around us. It kept us safe. Yes. And so that's very powerful. Now, I'm not saying that we want to embrace distraction as our great superpower, but really, and the researchers go on, in modern life, this particular feature of the brain allows us to realize, for instance, that a car is coming as we're crossing the street. Our spotlight of attention in this case has been and is still key to our survival, right? We are aware of the world around us. Now, the downside is, right. The downside is marketers know how to exploit this, right? And so those are banner ads and flashing things on Facebook and things that, because they know when you're reading, you're are susceptible to a lot of things getting in the way.
Right.
And I think that's fascinating. So it turns out it's all about brain rhythms, that at the peak of our brain waves, when we're most sort of excitable, that's when we're most distractible, predictably, and that in the troughs of our brain waves, we are able to focus more. So that leads to the open question: how do we resynchronize our brain waves? How do we use our brains? How do we tune our brains to be able to impact our attention?
Okay. Well, because I have a question relating it to ADHD specifically. So if everyone is wired to be distracted, then what happens with the people that have ADHD who they're just more distracted, or they are more geared? I mean, my understanding is they're going to be more geared to pay attention to what they like and to avoid what they don't, and the time blindness of all of that. happens.
Which is an executive functioning
Which
deficit,
is an executive
right?
function. Right. Because
Right.
so much of ADHD is all about executive functioning. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And
okay.
the challenge with ADHD, right, adding the ADHD element is that even though, so all humans are prone to distraction, let's say, and then ADHD makes it extremely difficult to correct, right? To
And to
figure
get
out how
out
to
of.
get out of that distracted state,
Right.
and to not allow yourself to stay. Like a neurotypical brain, maybe, you know, the attention is focusing 4 times a minute on something else, but that is never allowed, or is rarely allowed, to take dominant control over what is right in front of you. Maybe you end up, you know, you have that experience where you're reading the same sentence in a
over
book
and over
50
again.
times, right? That's a sign that you've fallen out of the trough of focus. And you're now on the peak of unpredictability and distraction. And so what we're trying to do is figure out a way to retrain the brain. Now, we have talked a little bit about things that we can do to retrain our brains, and we've had some recommendations from listeners who have recommended services and tools. And I wanted to talk about a couple of those tools today. In the spirit of Pete's digital episodes, I have 3 things that I would like to talk about. So the first, we've got to start with this concept of habituation, right? Habituation is, in this case, it applies to that concept where, you know, you really want to get some work done. You know, you have to get some work done. You know, if you sit down in a completely silent place, you sit down at your desk and it's totally silent, anything will distract you. You know that feeling? Like a ticking clock.
The rain.
The sound of your own
anything.
chewing.
Yeah.
Right? The rain. Anything will distract you. And part of that is because you haven't created a baseline threshold for your brain to tune out other activity. That's why coffee shops for so many people are really useful environments, so that you can create that baseline threshold of, you know, we'll call it white noise, that allows your brain to go into that sort of flow state. We'll talk about flow state again in a minute, where the noise in the background is allowing your brain to go into sort of high caloric burn and focus on what you need to focus on. So that background noise is really important. That's habituation. And then entrainment, you know, what does it take for you to create that environment to train your brain at what that threshold is? If you go to a coffee shop that's too busy and not just sort of that low din of conversation, then, you know, it won't work. You aren't able to tune that out, or to train your brain around that experience. And so you've got to figure out, you know, how do you create a space where you can habituate to a sound and really sort of impact those waves.
Can I ask a question? Because when I think of habituation, I think of that as a habit, but you're talking about something different. So can you clarify, like, it's not a habit. You're saying this is just finding your way, or figuring out what works for you.
It is.
And I guess that is a habit.
And that is a habit, right? So your senses are bombarded by a stimuli, right? By like our coffee shop example, you're initially distracted, but after 10 or 15 minutes, that sound fades into the background, and suddenly you're able to focus through it. You have built an internal signal habit around, and that's why, you know, we're kind of tying habituation to the change in your brain as it adjusts to something new, to this new experience. Okay? All right. And so here we go into talking about some of these specific tools. The first one came as a recommendation for something to try out. I don't know if the listener has tried it out, but I went ahead and gave it a shot. That is brain.fm. Have you heard of brain.fm?
I think so, because I think it's one of our Patreon members, I think, that brought it up. But I haven't checked it out.
So I checked it out on the trial. You can listen to 10 episodes or 10 tracks free, and then you have to pay up. And I'm sort of torn. The whole idea behind Brain.fm is that they have set a massive library of this sort of music that has vibrational elements to it that attempt to synchronize your brain in a new way for 3 different contexts. One is studying or high focus, like learning. You're trying to engage your brain. One is relaxation or meditation, and one is
they're
sleep,
all different sounds,
right?
depending on what it is that you're looking for.
all different tracks. Yeah. And you go to Brain FM, or you open the app and you turn it on. You say, I want to study, focus, I want to relax, or I want to sleep. It'll just play you something in it. But you can click on more music and get a library of all kinds of theme tracks. You want to pretend like you're in an action movie, or a spooky movie, or, there's all kinds of cinematic tracks. There's active tracks. There's, different sorts of genres of music, EDM to classical, and all of them have this kind of underlying vibration to it. So it really, when you start listening to a track on Brain FM, it sounds like you can hear a vibration to it, and it's a little bit jarring. I wonder if you can hear it. That is the sound of Brain FM, and the kind of sort of vibration you can hear in the background. Blah, 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 blah. And after a few minutes, usually 10 minutes or so, you totally tune that out. And I have found, I don't know if it's placebo, I don't know if it's, if it's really working. I can't explain it, but I loved it enough that I went ahead and I sprung for the service. And so I use it all the time as the background thing that's in my head that allows me to focus on any work that I'm trying to do that doesn't involve actually editing a podcast. I have found it is super useful. The science is a little bit shaky right now, right? It is not validated. And in fact, there's a link in the show notes to the white paper from Brain FM, which actually documents the science that they are working diligently right now to validate and answer that question. Can this music, when it is sort of programmatically designed to impact the way your brain relates to the world, does it work? Can we verify it and validate it? And we need that, right? The industry needs that. But I personally don't need it. And if you're looking for some new way to try to shake up how your brain is working, trying something like Brain FM might be useful to you. I love Brain FM because of the variety, the massive library of music that and sounds that it offers. And I have had good luck with it, particularly, I would say, in sleep. When I'm struggling to sleep, you can download an 8-hour track, and it's just nonstop of this kind of music that tunes your brain into a relaxed state. It has helped me, placebo or not, it has helped me.
Worked.
So it's something worth trying.
So, yeah. That's
There's
fantastic.
another service that Focus at Will. Focusatwill.com is another service that aims to do the same thing. I'm a creative thinker. I'm a logical thinker. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a student. You say, here's what I want to do. And it will give you, again, the scientifically optimized focus music. You just have to listen to some of the tracks and see, hey, is this the kind of music that I want to listen to? Is this the kind of music that's gonna help me work that I find appealing? And I like them both. I'm sticking with Brain FM because that's where I started, and it feels like the library of music is much larger. So I have a greater variety of sounds that I can try, and I feel like it's pretty strong. Finally, back to this coffee shop bit, right? This whole coffee shop thing. There is something to just having the noise. And the noise is valuable in its own way, even if it's not trying to give you a sense of, reprogram your brainwaves. Sometimes you just need to hit that noise floor in the background so that you can turn on your own focus mode. And if you just need that, if you don't want to go into the whole thing, you can go to an app that I love called Noizio, Noizio. Noizio, it's noiz.io if you're looking for it on the website. It is really, it's fun and funny. It's kind of a mixer of sounds. So you have this menu of a whole bunch of different soundtracks, and you adjust the volume of them together, right? Does that make sense? And I'll give you I'm opening up the app on my phone so I can get the whole library of options because they're very funny. Let's just say, for example, you would like to hear a coffee house, and let's see if you can hear this. Can you hear the coffee house?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you're fine with a coffee house. Maybe you actually want to be in a coffee house in a rainstorm.
So you can play this on your phone while
Yeah.
you're working in your home office or at the office. Put your earbuds in.
Yes.
And that's so interesting.
Now, just wait. There's more. Maybe you would rather be in a windstorm. Maybe you like the sounds of a winter wind. Maybe you like the sounds of a winter wind at sea.
That is cool.
Maybe you want a winter wind, gentle wind, and a river stream. Or how about this? This is where Noisio really comes into its own. How about deep space? This is the sound of deep space. What?
Wow.
So fun. So you can include all of these sounds. I've showed you the river stream. You can get summer night, sunny day, deep space, sailing yacht, inside a train, on a farm, wind chimes, blue whales, the sound of blue whales, all of these sounds, and you can mix them independently. So you can create your own soundscape of, the sounds that really make you relax and happy and allow you to focus.
How much is that? Is that a free app or is that something you have to pay for too?
That is a great question. I'm so glad you said that because I wasn't ready. Did I pay for it? It is available. And now that I've downloaded it, I don't actually know. Oh, yes, it's $2.99. $2.99. And there are actually in-app purchases to enable all of the sounds. I think it comes with, there are 99-cent packages for even more sounds. City street, pink noise, birds in a park, vinyl cracks, subway, night owls, space drone, frogs and crickets, tropical birds, a generic white noise. So you can build whatever soundscape you want and pay $1 or $2 and get just the right sound. So I think I bought the initial package, the $2.99, so that I could just have it. It runs on your. It looks like it's iOS only. I don't know if there's a plan for an Android version of it, but there's iOS and Mac. But it is a fantastic feature. Even if it's not rewiring my brain, it's certainly clever, and I have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun with
I like it.
Yeah. So what do you think? Are you open to retraining your brain?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm really open to this last one because I have found when I'm writing or trying to come up with content, even if, just outlines or whatever, I can't have music on because I get distracted and then I start like singing the music, especially if it's something that I really like. And so then I tried doing like yoga music, like, Zen type of music, but that kind of annoyed me more than anything. So I stopped doing that.
Why did it annoy you?
Because to me, that was like, oh, I should be meditating.
It's like telling you how to feel.
Like relax, like I should be relaxing, but I'm working. And so there was this like contradiction of feelings there that didn't make sense to me. So, but I like this. I like the noises, especially the beach, because I think that might help me be able to focus, but still have that background noise because I don't like working in silence either.
Oh, totally. No, I'm exactly right. I'm right with you. And that's why, I've really attached to that Brain FM, but I still use Noisio because sometimes I just like, I don't necessarily need to tune my mind in a certain way. Sometimes I just like to have something to create a noise floor, a sound floor.
Right.
I love
something.
it. And it's not even, I said it was coffee shop, but it's actually specific. It is a Paris cafe. So I don't know if there's any risk to this, but I don't speak French very well anymore. And so the idea that it's not only is it
not
coffee
even
shop,
English,
it's not even English satisfies me at a really core level. I'm not going to be able to track with this conversation. Yeah.
That's right. So, that's right. But you can still hear it.
I can still hear it.
This was great.
Good. Well, I hope that's useful. Links in the show notes.
Pete, I'm just so glad you had this all prepared. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And welcome back from vacation. And I can't wait to see what surprises that you have in store for us next week.
Yes. I don't know, but I'm going to come up with something great.
I can't wait. And let's see. Do we have any other announcements before we wrap up? I don't
Just
think we
that
do.
quick reminder of group coaching.
Yep.
Enrollment is going to end on September 5th. So, and if you hear this after the fact, that's okay. If you're still interested in group coaching, just get onto the waiting list, and I'll be doing more in the wintertime.
Cannot wait. Thank you, Nikki Kinzer.
Yes, thank you, Pete Wright.
Thank you, everybody, for downloading and listening to the show. We appreciate your time and your attention, and we wish that you would jump into Discord and join us for the live chats. That makes this even more fun. So hang out with us, patreon.com/the ADHD podcast. Until next week, I'm Pete. See you later.